Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. So, I'm in front of you today to present or report about the Article 5 of Republic Act 9165, or also known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. So, it states here the title of the Article 5, which is Promotion of National Drug-Free Workplace Program with the participation of private and labor sectors and the Department of Labor and Employment, or also known as DOLE. So, as you can see here, from the summarization itself of the Article 5, it talks about programs with regard to how will the government or the law will promote a national drug-free workplace. And of course, it will not be possible without the participation of not just the labor sectors under DOLE, or which are the public sectors, but also the private companies or the private sectors. Now, there are two sections under this Article 5. The first section is Section 47, which is entitled with Drug-Free Workplace. Now, from these words, malalaman na natin na it talks about companies which are drug-free. So to elaborate it, I will explain it to you. First is, it is deemed a policy of the state to promote a drug-free workplaces using a tripartite approach. So, from the syllable tri, it means three. So, what are these tripartite approach? So, the first one is the government, the second is the labor groups, and the third one is the employers. So, the first one is the government, which is very important in this approach because they will be the one who will be the first ones to initiate these programs that they will promote. So, through the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, the government is responsible for providing the framework and guidelines for establishing a drug-free workplaces. So, the government here is mainly responsible for providing such guidelines and system on how will the owners, the labor groups, the employers, the employees of such company will deal or will initiate or make actions with regard to how will they deal with the guidelines that will be provided by the government and will be instructed by the government, which is through the DOLE. The second one is the labor groups. So, it is important that the government needs to cooperate with the labor groups or the labor group organizations. There are many kinds of labor groups. And they play a crucial role or a very important role in raising awareness about the drug abuse among workers and advocating their rights in the workplace. So, the approach or the programs that the government will make will not be possible without the help of the labor groups because they will be the one to initiate in the field by raising awareness or by raising instruction, guidelines, or by teaching the employees and also the employers or the owners of the company to how they will advocate a drug-free workplace inside their company and how will they tell about the rights in the workplace with regard to such job or employment. Lastly is the employers. So from the word employers, it talks about the owners of the company or of the workplace. Now, the employers are responsible for developing and implementing their own drug-free workplace policies in accordance with the guidelines set by the DOLE. So, though they have the responsibility in implementing their own drug-free workplace, they also need to set the guidelines through the support of the DOLE, or the Department of Labor and Employment, because they still have their limitations, and what they will be provided, what they will be providing to their employees is not the exact guidelines that they will implement, since of course kailangan pa rin na in accordance sa guidelines ng DOLE. So the DOLE will still be the one who will be mainly participating in this drug-free workplace. So this is how important tripartite approach is, because if not for these three, it will be impossible for the law or for the article to function well. Next is that with the assistance of the board, the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, shall develop, promote, and implement a national drug abuse prevention program in the workplace to be adopted by private companies with 10 or more employees. So, of course, it will be impossible for the DOLE to initiate such programs if the company is only membered with 2 members or at least 3 members. So it should be 10 or more employees to be considered as a workplace and to be considered as a company. Now, with the assistance of the board, or the Dangerous Drugs Board, or DDB, the Department of Labor and Employment needs to promote and implement a national drug-free or national drug abuse prevention programs. So there are many kinds of programs that the government wants to, or should, or must implement with regard to how they will deal and how will they advocate such importance to developing a national drug-free workplace with 10 employees, of course. So I will be explaining later what are these programs that the government has provided in order to promote a drug-free workplace. Next, such program shall include the mandatory drafting and adoption of company policies. So again, just as what I said earlier, that employers are responsible for developing and implementing their own, but still with accordance with the DOLE. So, as explained here again, so kailangan sila ng consultation and coordination sa DOLE, sa labor employer, which is ito, but as a whole or as an organization, ang meaning dito, at yung mga labor group organization. So, as what I have stated earlier, na there are many programs that the government wants to implement or plan to implement. So, these are the programs on drug-free workplace that the National Conciliation and Mediation Board has provided with coordination with the Dangerous Drugs Board and DOLE themselves. Or in short, for the National Conciliation and Mediation Board, so this is the one abbreviation, NCMB. Now let's start for the first one. So A, advocacy, education, and training. So NCMB undertakes to increase the awareness, education of its officials and employees on the adverse effects of dangerous drugs through continuous advocacy, education, and training programs or activities to all its officers and employees. So, again, the NCMB here wants to increase the awareness and educates those officials or employers and their employees kung gaano kalala kung gagamit ng isang tao ng illegal na droga or illicit drugs. So, there are many kinds of adverse effects on using dangerous drugs or maybe selling anything that violates the RA 9165 is dangerous and it has adverse effects, whether financially, emotionally, or pinakalala sa lahat, physically. The second one, in advocacy, education, and training, is all officials and employees are required to undergo an orientation or education program which shall include the following topics. So first one is the salient features of RA 9165. Just like what our classmates or my classmates have reported. So dito, mag-i-initiate ng mga officials and employees or magpa-participate rather ang mga officials and employees sa orientation at education program na ibibigay ng gobyerno sa kanila, in which they will be able to understand the features of RA 9165 or maybe the laws, not just the laws but the punishment of violating this law. Second one is the adverse effects of abuse and misuse of dangerous drugs on the person, workplace, family, and the community. So just like what I have said earlier na malalaman ng employers, officials, and employees with regard to the adverse effects or mga malalang epekto ng droga if ma-misuse ito or ma-abuse, which is bawal according to the law. Third, preventive measures against drug abuse. So of course, hindi talaga maiwasan na there is an employee that will be a victim of this law or will be a victim of using illicit drugs. So there is a preventive measures against this type of person that will be a victim of drug abuse. So I will be explaining that later since further magto-talk tayo about sa rehabilitation or treatment with regard to those who abused illegal drugs. Lastly, steps to take when intervention is needed as well as available services for the treatment and rehabilitation. So, third, ito, sa advocacy, education, and training, the board shall ensure that the workplace policies and programs on the prevention and control of dangerous drugs, including drug testing, shall be disseminated to all officers and employees. So of course, ang prevention, control, and drug testing shall be disseminated or spreaded ba? Kumbaga. So, i-spread yung information na yan sa officers and employees sa isang kumpanya in order for them to know the preventive measures that the government wants to impose or initiate. Now, the employer shall obtain a written acknowledgement from the employees that the policy has been read and understood by them. So, just like how a law enforcer arrests somebody, so he will be stated with his constitutional rights, which is understood by him. So, ganito rin sa number 3. So, dapat ipaunawa sa kanila na gaano ka-importante and dapat maintindihan nila yung mga gustong ipaiwatig ng gobyerno sa kanila. Next, letter B of the programs on drug-free workplace, which is the mandatory drug test, and it was stated here also, di ba? So, you can see employee and the NCNB, or which is ang itong National Conciliation and Mediation Board. So, number 1, first step, in consonance with the Civil Service Commission, or CEC, Memorandum Circular Number 34, Section 1997, all new entrants to government service through the NCNB shall be required to undergo mandatory drug test. So before they will be able to be employed in such organization or in such company, whether public or private sector, so they will need to undergo such mandatory drug test. So the results of which shall be submitted to the board. Thus, the conduct of mandatory drug test is part of the basic requirement for employment. So, just like medical examination that the government or the employers want para sa kanilang soon-to-be employees, so ganun din importante ang mag-undergo ng drug tests in entering such company, whether public or private. Number 2, all officials and employees may be selected at random for drug testing at a period determined by the board. 3, any official or employee shall be required to submit to reasonable suspicion drug testing. So ano ba to reasonable suspicion drug testing? So from the word itself, suspicion. So meaning, yung mga official or employee, pwede silang maglahad ng information that is very relevant, important, and credible na they suspect or this employee is using or maybe transporting, delivering, or selling illicit drugs. So, yan ang ibig sabihin ng reasonable suspicion drug testing. Among other things, such facts and inferences may be based upon, so ito na, observable phenomena while at work, such as direct observation of drug use or of the physical symptoms or manifestations of being under the influence of a drug. So again, there are adverse effects that the government will be teaching to the employees and officials. So part na yan sa programa nila. So of course, any official or employee shall know the adverse effects or the physical adverse effects of such individual pag gumagamit ng illegal drugs. So therefore, maobserbahan nila yan, at kung maobserbahan na nila, they will submit a reasonable suspicion drug testing. Next, a report of drug use provided by a reliable and credible source. So just like what I have said earlier, kailangan reliable and credible ang isang source before ka mag-submit ng reasonable suspicion drug testing. Next is evidence that an individual has tampered with a drug test during his or her employment with the current employer. So, pwede rin na ginawa niya, dinestroy niya yung drug test niya during her employment. Like for example, even though positive siya, pero nagawa niya pa rin na negative yung result. So, it has been tampered and it is illegal to such employment. So, bawal yan. 4, on the mandatory drug test, all drug tests shall use the following testing methods. So, the first method is the screening test, and the second one is the confirmatory test. So, in the screening test, they will determine here the positive result as well as the type of the drug used. So, ma-determine nila dito kung ano yung ginagamit na drug nila with regard to the employee that has been using illicit drugs or any kind of drugs. Second one is the confirmatory test, which will confirm a positive screening test. If the confirmatory test turns positive, the board's drug-free workplace team shall determine the administrative interventions that can be extended to the employee concerned. So, there are kind of preventive measures that will be provided or preventive measures that the government will be providing to such employee na sa screening test pa lang in employment is found positive. So, there will be a consequence but also a treatment as well to the employee. So, it's not going to harm the employee, but to help him or her get the treatment that he deserves. 5, all drug tests of NCMB, Central Office, and Regional Reconciliation Mediation Branch, National Capital Region, or RCMB, NCR, shall be conducted by East Avenue Medical Center. So, dito, ika-conduct yung mga drug tests. But, what about yung nasa Mindanao? What about yung nasa Visayas? So, malayo sa NCR. So, it will not be a problem since the test of the RCMBs shall coordinate with the regional offices of the Department of Health in the selection of the hospital of drug testing center in their respective regions. So for example, dito sa Region 9, so of course, malayo siya sa RCMB and CR, so it will be, the test will be conducted, well, depends on the DOH with the coordination of RCMB kung saan i-drug test yung isang tao. So, pwede doon sa DAO or sa medical center lang sa mga ganun sort, diba? 6 is the NCMB shall inform the official or employee who was subjected to a drug test of the test results, whether positive or negative. So it will be determined if the employee or the soon-to-be employee is positive or negative through these results, and the NCMB will be the one to inform those results. 7. All costs of the drug testing shall be carried by the board. Of course, ang board nang bahala dyan in conducting drug tests or in the costs of drug testing. 8. Refusal to submit to mandatory drug testing shall be a valid ground for dismissal from the service. So, if, for example, a soon-to-be employee refused to submit the mandatory drug testing, so it will be a valid ground to dismiss him or her from his service. 9. While the board understands that employees and applicants under the physician's care is required to use prescription drugs, abuse of the same shall be dealt with in the same manner as the abuse of illegal substances. So, even if yung ginagamit ng drugs is not really illegal, but for the reason that it is abused, so he will be conducted with, or he will be treated with the same treatment as for those persons na gumagamit ng illicit drugs. So the third program is treatment, rehabilitation, and referral. So from the word treatment, so person will be treated, and here rehabilitation, so it will be reformed so that it will the person will be reintegrated into the society like it never happened, or the abuse never happened or never existed. And he will be back to the society to be able to have more opportunities in his life. So, ganyan. So, first one is an employee or official who, for the first time, is found positive of drug abuse shall be referred for treatment and rehabilitation in a DOH accredited center. So, it explains here that if a person or if an employee is found positive of drug use, so he will be treated and rehabilitated at the same time. So he will not be considered as a criminal, but rather a person with a disease. So therefore, the DOH there will initiate such treatment and rehabilitation to this kind of person that was or that is a victim of drug abuse. Second, following rehabilitation, the drug-free workplace team, in consultation with the head of the rehabilitation center, shall evaluate the status of the drug-dependent official or employee and recommend to the board the resumption of the employee's job if he or she poses no serious danger to his or her co-employees or the workplace. So, for example, if this drug-dependent is let's say, for example, that he has been treated and rehabilitated already. So, the board's drug-free workplace team will evaluate the status of this person or the employee of such company, and if it poses or he poses no serious danger para sa kanyang mga co-employees, therefore, he will be reintegrated or he will be reintegrated to his job or to his old job. Number 3, all costs for the treatment and rehabilitation of the drug-dependent employee shall be charged to his or her account. So of course, since he or she is liable or he or she is guilty of being a victim of drug abuse, so all the costs will not be covered by the board or the Dangerous Drugs Board, but rather he or she will be charged to his own account. And the period during which the employee or official is under treatment or rehabilitation shall be considered as authorized leaves. So it will not be counted as absent, or he or she will not be dismissed of his job, but rather it will be called as authorized leaves as he undergo treatment and rehabilitation. Fourth one is repeated drug use even after sufficient opportunity for treatment and rehabilitation. So kahit na ginawa na ng gobyerno ang lahat in order to prevent such act, but still, paulit-ulit siyang umaabuso in using illegal drugs or illicit drugs. Therefore, he will be dealt with the corresponding penalties under RA 9165 and is a ground for dismissal. So, he will not just be punished according to what my co-reporters have discussed regarding Article 2, which has the penalties sa RA 9165, but also is has a ground for dismissal yung prone siya sa dismissal ang isang employee. Fourth one, or D, is the consequences of policy violations. So as you can see here that the person will be imprisoned as what is the picture illustrates here. But still, we're going to explain it to you what really is this all about. So, any official or employee who uses, possesses, distributes, sells, or attempts to sell, tolerates, transfers dangerous drugs, or otherwise commits other unlawful acts as defined under Article 2 of RA 9165, and its implementing rules and regulations shall be subjected to pertinent provisions of the said Act. So, what are these pertinent provisions of the said Act? So, it depends sa punishment that is provided under Article 2 of RA 9165. So, of course, pag makakommit ka, hindi lang naman rehabilitation and treatment ang maibibigay sa iyo, but also for you still have a criminal liability regardless of how will the government treat you in a way that you are a victim and is a patient of a disease of drug abuse. So still, you have violated the rights, you have violated the law, rather. So you will be punished and you will be subjected to the pertinent provisions of Republic Act RA 9165. E, or the fifth one, is monitoring and evaluation. So from the words itself na, themselves na, monitor, so i-monitor ka ng board or dependent, sino yung mag-deal sa'yo, and i-evaluate ka. But still, I'm going to explain it to you by reading this first. So the implementation of these policies and programs shall be monitored and evaluated periodically by the board's drug-free workplace program or management team to ensure a drug-free workplace. So how will the team, or how will the drug-free workplace team ensure a drug-free workplace? So of course, they need to monitor and evaluate periodically with regard to what they have implemented, with regard to or about the policies and programs that they have implemented in order to really secure a drug-free workplace program, or drug-free workplace rather. So they need to monitor and evaluate periodically, whether weekly, daily, monthly, or every 6 months or every year. So they need to check everything in order for them to really determine if the workplace really is a workplace that has no employees or officials that has relations to illicit drugs, which is a violation to this law. 7, or F, is confidentiality. So from the word confidentiality, so confidential, and it has to be kept a secret and should not be leaked. Now, still, I will explain it to you by reading it and explaining it. All information, reports, statements, memoranda, and drug test results, even drug test results, should be confidential or received as produced this drug testing program are confidential and may not be used or received in evidence or disclosed in any public or private proceedings. Pero may exceptions yan. Kasi di ba unfair naman talaga na from the words dito na sinabi, from the phrase dito na it will not be used as evidence. So, di ba ang unfair? Unless, so, mayroong exceptions, of course. If required by law. So, unless the court says so na kailangan ng evidence, so, itong mga sinasabi ng confidential reports will not be really confidential or will not be really kept a secret because it is required by law to disclose these important informations with regard to such employee. And also, where such exemptions have been authorized in writing by the person concerned. So, as for the employee, if he authorizes this to be disclosed through writing, so it will be disclosed because it will not be confidential anymore because he authorizes that it will be leaked and the information will be given publicly. So, the second section, So, the second and last section is section 48, which is entitled Guidelines for the National Drug-Free Workplace Program. So here, it's stated that the board and the DOLE shall formulate the necessary guidelines for the implementation of the National Drug-Free Workplace Programs. So these are the general guidelines that the board and the DOLE formulated. So this is general. So this still depends on the employers with regard with the formulations of the guidelines, and they will just approve the guidelines that will be provided by the employers, or it still depends on the workplace of the said nature, or the nature of the said workplace rather. First, general guideline is the following should be observed in any drug-free workplace program. So, the drug-free workplace program must be known to all employees and officers. So, kailangan nila malaman kung ano yung mga programa na isasagawa ng gobyerno at employers sa kanila or sa employees specifically. Okay. Second one is the program must aim to provide a safe working environment and promote the well-being and health of employees and should not be used to harass employees. So, kailangan nilang mag-provide dito ng safe working environment and to promote the well-being and health of employees kasi physical or mental health is as much as important as physical health for them to really avoid such abuse of the said drugs, because one of the reasons why people use drugs because of depressing happenings in their life. Third one is the program should adhere to the concept that drug addiction is a disease which can be prevented and treated. So, as what I have stated there earlier, there is a program or treatment and rehabilitation to such employees na victims of drug abuse. So, they will not be treated as criminals, or rather, they will be treated as a patient with a disease. And it can be treated. Lastly, is the program implementation must emphasize promotion of a safe and healthy drug-free environment. So they need to promote that this workplace is safe and has a healthy drug-free environment. Second, is the drug-free workplace program must include the following components: advocacy, education and training, drug testing program for officials and employees, management, treatment, rehabilitation and referral, monitoring and evaluation. So, the number two guidelines, general guidelines, is what I have explained earlier. So, ito yun. So, lahat. Including the confidentiality of such information. Lastly, is the strict confidentiality must be observed. So, ito na yung sinasabi ko na kailangan ng confidential information unless it is required by law or it is permitted by the employee who's a victim of drug abuse through written permission. So that's all. But the last one here of the section 48 is the amount necessary for the implementation of which shall be included in the annual General Appropriations Act. So from the word annual, so yearly, di ba? And the amount necessary for the implementation. So of course, kailangan ng budget ng gobyerno with regard to promoting a drug-free workplace. And they need those programs, pero yung programs na yun, kailangan ng budget yun. So, kailangan may plano ang gobyerno with regard to that. And another thing is that yung report ni Mr. Compra na those properties that are confiscated will be sold, di ba? So, yung mga nabibenta ng mga properties, confiscated properties, so i-include nila yan dito. Pwede nila yung i-include dito in order to have a budget that will help the government to promote such programs. So, that's all. Thank you.